Yeah.
Okay, well good morning everyone and welcome to the Penguin Pool. So as you can see it is feeding time for our Humboldt penguins and I'm going to need a bit of help this morning. So have I got any volunteers who would like to help me? Okay, I can see a few hands going up but I do need to hear some voices. So have I got any volunteers? Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, well what I'm going to do in a minute is actually come round and hand out some fish so you can all have a go at feeding one of the penguins. But before we do that, I would like to tell you some information about the birds first of all. Now there's actually 17 different species of penguin. All of them are found living in the southern hemisphere. However, not all penguins are actually found living in cold areas like you might expect. Now most people assume that penguins live on the snow and the ice and somewhere where it's really, really cold. And there are some species that do, and they're found towards Antarctica and the islands surrounding there. However, there are also lots of other species of penguin that prefer to live in much warmer environments. So you do actually find penguins in the wild in parts of Australia and New Zealand, also in South Africa, the Galapagos Islands, and our penguins here are actually from South America. Now this penguin up here is the greediest penguin we have. Her name is Biscuit. She's too lazy to actually go swimming, so she likes to come up here and bite us on the leg to try and get a few extra fish. But hopefully she's going to go for a swim in a minute. You going to go? Oh, sometimes these penguins are actually from South America. They're called Humboldt penguins. And you actually find them living on the western coastlines of Chile and Peru. So they do actually prefer to live in much warmer environments, as I said, on nice sunny subtropical beaches. So they are actually adapted for a very hot climate. However, they are also adapted for a very cold sea temperature because the sea on that western coast of South America is actually very, very cold due to the upwelling currents from Antarctica. One of those currents is actually called the Humboldt Current, so that's actually where they get their name from. Now these penguins will actually spend most of their time in the wild swimming around out at sea, hunting for lots of food, and that's normally fish. That's what we're feeding them this morning, with some lovely fresh scraps for them. But they do like to eat sardines, anchovies, squid and shrimps as well. And in order to actually catch all that food, the penguins have to be very good at swimming, which you can see they are. They've actually got a nice, smooth, streamlined, torpedo-shaped body. Their wings have become adapted to be like flippers, and they've also got webbed feet. And all of this will actually help to propel the penguins through the water really quickly, and they can reach speeds of up to 25 miles an hour, so they're very, very fast. They're also very quick at changing direction using that stiff tail, and they have got very good eyesight and reflexes, so generally, they are amazing at catching, much better than mine at throwing them. So they are excellent at hunting for all of that food. But when they're not in the water, you'll actually find the penguins having a rest or sunbathing on the land surrounding the sea. There's actually two main seasons when the penguins spend more of their time on land than in the water. The first one is the molting season. Now every year these penguins go through an annual molt. It's a natural process they go through in the wild as well, where they actually molt and lose every single one of their feathers. They will all fall out. During this molt, they look very, very scruffy. They go very brown in colour. They actually start to swell up, so they look very, very fat, really uncomfortable. They get quite grouchy. And during this molt, they actually feel a lot safer staying up on the land, living off their fat reserves, rather than trying to swim and being very vulnerable to any predators. Now, the other season is the breeding season. These penguins actually mate for life, which means they're with their same partners their whole lives, and both the male and the female will actually build their nest together. Now, penguins like to make their nests out of something called guano. Can anybody tell me what guano is? You can shout it out nice and loud. And so guano is just a very polite way of describing bird or bat food and droppings. So these penguins will actually dig a burrow and make their nest out of their own guano, which sounds really disgusting, but it is very clever because penguin guano makes a very, very good nesting material for them, because once it dries, it makes a strong concrete-like substance that holds the nest together. Unfortunately though, humans have worked out that penguin guano is actually a really good fertiliser due to all of the nutrients and minerals found in it. And unfortunately, it's the biggest threat that these penguins face in the wild is something called guano harvesting. And that's where sadly people will actually go to the penguins' nesting areas and then they'll actually destroy the penguin's nest, taking that guano away to sell it on as a fertiliser. And that is obviously a huge issue for our penguins because it does mean that their eggs or chicks become extremely vulnerable to any predators. And without that nest, they can even get washed away in really heavy rains as well. So it is a huge issue that these animals do face. And they also suffer heavily with pollution, particularly things like oil spills and overfishing now due to the increasing human population. There is a lot of pressure on the fish stocks. And it does mean that the penguins have to travel a lot further and work a lot harder to get enough food. And sadly, they can even get caught in fishermen's nets where they then will actually drown. So they do face a lot of problems, and these have actually declined their numbers so severely that they're now currently listed as a vulnerable species, and that's only one step away from being an endangered species. So they definitely face a huge amount of threats, but they are proving extremely successful to breed within captivity. Here at the park, we've actually got 26 penguins altogether, and that's made up of 11 breeding pairs of adults and 4 of our other penguins as well. Now with 26, when you look at them all here together, it can be very difficult to tell them apart, but there is one way that we know exactly which penguin is which. Does anyone know what that is? Can anyone tell me? Yeah. Yes, that's it. It's the bands on their arms. So if you look at them and you're wondering why they've all got these coloured tags, every single penguin has a completely different colour combination, and that way we can really easily identify exactly who is who. But there is one penguin that sticks out more from his personality, and he is just here. This penguin who just caught that fish, his name is Dippy. Some of you might have heard of him before. He's quite a special penguin here at the park. Now he's actually our oldest penguin. If you look on his right wing, he's got a green band with a small blue dot on it, so that's how we know this one is Dippy. He's coming up to 18 years old. He was hand-reared, so he's very friendly and very affectionate towards all of the keepers here. But he's special for one more reason, and that is because he's actually the first penguin to have his own Facebook page. So if any of you are on Facebook and you want to become friends with Dippy the penguin here, all you have to do is type in Dippy Seaview, and it's a great way of keeping up to date with everything that happens here at the park. And you can also see what Dippy gets up to on his adventures as well. Okay, so I think that's enough for me. What I'm going to do now is hand out some of this fish. Just a couple of really important things first. So if you please can make sure there are no hands, children or belongings on this wall surrounding the pool area. So you do need to stay behind that green barrier and please keep everything off the wall. This is for your own safety, but also because I'm going to be walking along the wall there. So I don't want to tread on anyone's fingers or trip over anything and go fall you into the pool. So if you can keep that nice and clear. Then what I'm going to do is come round and drop this fish along the wall for you. Now obviously it's quite busy this morning, so please share out the fish between each other. So do be considerate for anyone who's behind you or hasn't had a chance. So do try and share the fish out equally. And when you get hold of your fish, you just pick the fish up by the tail like this, and you just throw it straight into the water. They are very good at catching, as you can see. But please do not try and hand feed the penguins by passing the fish into them or dangling it over the edge. And please do not try and reach in and touch the penguins. They do have very, very sharp beaks and they will not hesitate to bite you. So please be very careful. Just throw it straight into the water like that. You'll have no problem. And finally, do wash your hands when you're finished. There's actually a sink for you round to your left. There's also some in Pellicora and the main toilets by the cafe as well. And if you have any questions, we'll be over on the land at the end of the evening. So just come up and ask us. And if not, thank you very much for listening and do enjoy the rest of the day here at the park.
That's lovely fun.
Oh, wow.
Fair enough. Yay!